So yesterday we have started with the actinide elements where we have completed the first series of inner transition elements or sub-transition element, that is a lanthanide. After which we have started with the actinide elements. The drastic feature of the actinide elements is that the series itself starts with atomic number 89, which ends with last element lawrencium having atomic number 103. The feature, the drastic feature of these elements is that we have seen yesterday that only first four members they are naturally occurring, that is namely actinium, thorium, protactinium and uranium, that is from atom number 89 to 92. The elements which are situated after uranium, that is from neptunium onwards 93 to 103, that is up to lawrencium. So the elements which are placed from neptunium to lawrencium all are artificially obtained, or these are known as man-made elements which may be obtained by nuclear bombardment with uranium-238 nucleus with a suitable projectile. The names of these newly synthesized elements were given from the names of the planets, as we have seen yesterday, Neptunium, Plutonium. Also, some of the elements, they were given the names of the areas or the regions where these elements were synthesized. For example, Americium, Berkelium, Californium, and all other elements. There are certain other elements where the names were given the names of the scientists. For example, Mendelevium, Curium, Einsteinium, Fermium, etc. So these elements were given the names of the planets, the names of the areas or regions where they are synthesized, and somewhere the names were given as those of the Nobel laureates from chemistry. So we shall begin today with the remaining aspect of this actinide elements, which are normally referred as a 5F elements. If we look at again the periodic table, just see here, I'm going to show you. Here, if we look at the periodic table, so this is a periodic table where we have seen the sixth period, which begins with cesium, barium, and after which there comes a series of 15 members that is known as the lanthanide elements. And after cesium, atom number 87 is of francium, which is again first group element. After francium, the next element is radium, having atom number 88. So after radium atom number 88, there comes a series of 15 members, that is from actinium to lawrencium. This we have seen. Here, the drastic feature of these two series, that is the lanthanide series and actinide series. The lanthanide series starts with period number 6, while the actinide series starts with period number 7. A common feature of these two series is that these two series they fall in one and the same group, that is third B group of the periodic table. So whenever there is a position of lanthanide element is there, the sixth period and third B group, and the position of actinides is the seventh period and third B group. The third B group number is same for these two series, but the period number differs for lanthanum and for francium. It is 6 and 7. So 6th period, third B group for lanthanides, 7th period and third B group for actinides. So this we know. Now we shall move to the electronic configuration of all these lanthanide elements. We know that radium atom number 86, that radium being the inert gas element, after radium Next element from first A group is francium, atom number 87. And after francium, the second A group of the periodic table element is radon, that is Rn. So after this, the series of element that is actinide starts, that is from atom number 89. Here we see that if you look at this slide, the seventh period is known as the actinide series. The electron preferentially enters into 5f orbital. The many physical and chemical properties are similar to actinium or actinoids. That means all these elements, they resemble close in their physical and chemical properties. This is also known as a second inner transition element series. The first inner transition element series is a lanthanum, and second inner transition element series is known as the actinides. The outermost and penultimate shell remain the same. This is outermost and the penultimate, and this is known as the anti-penultimate. So penultimate shell is a 6D and anti-penultimate shell is a 5F. These elements are commonly referred as the 5F elements because the new electron or incoming electron preferentially enters into 5F orbital. Hence, these elements are commonly referred as the 5F elements. One important feature that I would like to tell here, that the energy gap or energy difference between 5F and 6D, that is very small enough. So if you refer certain reference books, it is seen that some authors, they have given a single electron in 6D orbital right from actinium up to lawrencium. Some authors, they have placed a single electron in 6D orbital up to neptunium, that is from 89 to 93. 6D orbital contains single electron. After neptunium, the 6D orbital is empty. This is because the 5F and 6D orbitals are very close in energy. One cannot distinguish whether the incoming electron actually enters into 5F or 6D orbital because the energy gap between these two orbitals is very small enough. Here, if we look at the electronic configuration of all these elements, I would like to show you the electronic configuration. Here, actinium element is not shown. From thorium, they have written the electronic configuration. Just now I have told you that the different authors have suggested different electronic configuration for these elements. But the electronic configuration that we are going to refer here, that has been universally accepted. And you are also aware that in our notes, I have given the electronic configuration of all these actinide elements that contain 6d1 electron up to neptunium. So you must remember this particular parameter, that all these actinide elements, they contain a single electron in the d orbital. So here, if you look at the electronic configuration of thorium, here they have written 2 electrons. So 86 plus 2 is 88 plus 2 is a 90. And after which, again, the 5F orbital becomes decisively more stable. So incoming electron enters into 5F orbital. So 5F1 electron is not there. And here, every element is having the 6d1 electron. There is no question of about the 7s orbital because 7s orbital is filled at radon, that is atom number 88. And next incoming electron that we have to write either in 6d or 5f. But it is presumed that after thorium, the 5f orbital becomes decisively more stable. So after 89, here the protactinium, the incoming electron enters into 5f orbital. Hence the observed electron configuration is 5f2. So this particular building of electronic configuration continues up to neptunium, that is up to neptunium atom number 93. The electronic configuration of the neptunium is 5f4, 6d1, 7s2. After neptunium, at plutonium, 6d orbital is again empty, and this 6d orbital is going to be filled at the last element, that is a lawrencium, because at lawrencium, the 103rd electron that should enter into 6d orbital, because up to nobelium, you might be seeing here, up to nobelium 5f orbital is completely filled. So at lawrencium 103, the incoming electron has no any other choice than to enter into 6d orbital. So the 103rd electron, that is a new electron or incoming electron, now enters into 6d orbital. So the electronic configuration of all these elements can be written as, up to neptunium you have to write 6d orbital, 6d 1 electron, and after which 6d orbital is empty. But at curium, again there is interruption to the continuous build-up of this electronic configuration. In order to give extra stability associated with completely half-filled electronic subshell, one of the electrons that get exchanged with 6d orbital, this is possible only because 5f orbital and 6d orbital, they are very close in energy, and because of which one of the electron that gets transferred to 6d orbital. So here, according to this continuous build-up of electronic configuration, after americium, atomic number 95, at curium, the electronic configuration should be 5f8, 6d0 and 7s2. But it is, the observed electronic configuration is 5f7 instead of 5f8, and one of the electron that is transferred and get exchanged with 6d orbital in order to give the extra stability associated with completely half-filled electronic subshell. So this is all about the electronic configuration. Now, if we look again at this series, here from actinium to lawrencium, all the elements were shown with their respective atomic masses. Now, if we look at this particular slide, the elements known as a transuranic, the word trans stands for the elements which are situated after uranium, that is atom number 92. All these elements are now known as the transuranic elements, that is after atom number 92 up to lawrencium. So these are also known as man-made element, atomic number having higher than uranium, that is 92. These are also known as SHE elements of the periodic table, because these are the elements which exhibit comparatively higher atomic masses, and hence they are known as SHE elements. So transuranic elements or TU elements or SHE elements are nothing but the elements after uranium are known as transuranic or SHE elements. You being chemistry people, you should remember this particular symbol. Whenever this particular symbol appears on a chemical, that indicates that it is definitely radioactive. That means this indicates that such chemical should be handled by taking all possible precautions. So this symbol is very important, and as we know that these actinide elements, majority of these elements are radioactive. They emit alpha, beta or gamma radiations when come in contact with atmospheric air. Now, this is a general electronic configuration of all these elements, which is shown here. Actinium having atom number 89. In terms of radon core, radon having atom number 86. After radon, francium is there, and after francium there is a radium, atom number 88. So here, in terms of radon core, the electron configuration for actinium is written as like this: radon 5f0 6d1 7s2. So the 89th electron enters into 6d orbital, even though the actinium is having 4f0 electrons, even though it is shown in 5f electron series, because actinium resembles all those properties which are shown by rest all of the elements, similar to that of lanthanides, where lanthanum being the first member which shows also the similar type of electronic configuration, 4f0, 5d1 and 6s2. Now here 6d and 7s electron is same, only up to 5f electron which change by increasing order, that is after thorium the 5f electron subshell starts to fill up. So this is all about the electronic configuration. One should remember that the 5d orbital, even though some of these elements they do display the 6d electron, this presence of 6d electron, single electron in 6d orbital does not matter, or it does not affect the relative properties of all these elements. So it is of lesser importance whether these elements contain any d electrons or not. Now, if we proceed further with the oxidation states, during our routine lectures, we have derived all these oxidation states for the actinide series. Here again, the first sentence they have written as a common oxidation state for all the oxide actinides is a +3. This +3 oxidation state is on account of the group valency, the principal oxidation state, major oxidation state, or the common and stable oxidation state of all the actinides. So they show a common oxidation state for all these elements, that is from actinium up to lawrencium. So this is the common oxidation state, that is a group valency, which is attributed to all these elements. Here it is again written that neptunium +3 and plutonium +3, they get oxidized to neptunium +4 and plutonium +4 in aqueous solution. Because +3 oxidation state is a stable state, it immediately oxidizes to +4 oxidation state, that means it gets oxidized to its higher oxidation states. Some become more stable or some become more unstable. Here, I would like to mention that the stability of all these unusual oxidation states or variable oxidation states, that wholly depends upon the acquiring F0, F7 or F14 configurations respectively. That is, as we know, that empty, half filled or completely filled electronic subshell. If we want to conclude on these oxidation states, it is revealed that these elements, they do display +2 as a minimum oxidation state, and they show +7 as the highest oxidation state. So the minimum oxidation state, that is shown by only few elements, that is actinium, thorium and americium. These are the three members which display the +2 oxidation state, and the two members, namely neptunium, atom number neptunium and the americium, they do display the +7 oxidation state. So minimum oxidation state shown by these elements is a +2, while the maximum oxidation state shown by these elements, only few elements, there is 2 elements are there, they show highest oxidation state as +7. Here, the +3 oxidation state is shown by all these elements. In contrast to +2, +3 and +7 oxidation states, there are certain other elements. They also show the oxidation state as +4, +5 and +6 also. Not all the elements, they do show +4, +5 or +6 oxidation states. Here, the members from actinium to berkelium, that is from 89 to 87, they show +4 oxidation state. There are certain elements, they show the +5 oxidation state from thorium atom number 90 to up to americium. And there are 4 such members, they show only +6 oxidation states. The stability of all these unusual oxidation states may not be justified on the assumption that they are acquiring F0, F7 or F14 configurations respectively. That means some elements, they show either of these oxidation states, but they are stable even though they are not having the electronic configuration, that is empty, half filled or completely filled electronic subshell. Now, based on these oxidation states of actinides, if we move further for the colors of all these actinides, then here I have shown different colors for these elements. Again, the important characteristic feature of this slide is that these elements do not display any color in its +2 oxidation state. So the the actinide elements, they do not show any color in its lower oxidation state of +2, and all other oxidation states, that is +3, +4, +5, +6 and +7, all these oxidation states, the elements which exhibit either of these oxidation states, they may show certain colors which I have shown. If we look at the common stable oxidation state for actinides. Then actinium plus 3 oxidation state, F0 configuration, no unpaired electrons are there, on account of which it is colorless. To have a color for these elements, the element must contain at least one unpaired electrons. This means that if either of these elements in different oxidation states, if they are having completely filled electronic subshell, that is F14 configuration, that means no unpaired electrons, then such atom or ion is colorless on account of absence of unpaired electrons, or as all the electrons are paired off, or F orbital, if it is doubly occupied by maximum number of 2 electrons, then it is known as the completely filled electronic subshell, which do not show any color. So there is no unpaired electron, and hence because unpaired electron is absent, hence these elements, they do not show any colors. If we move one step further for thorium plus 3, then it shows a faint blue color. Protactinium, it shows again dark blue color. Uranium, neptunium, plutonium, americium, they show different colors, that is pink to faint skin color. And curium shows a very ivory color, very faint ivory color. And berkelium shows yellow color. Californium shows a green color. But Einsteinium, having atom number 99, even though it is having plus 3 oxidation state, do not display any color. Here, if we move one step further, for plus 4 oxidation state, thorium plus 4 does not show any oxidation, any color. It is colorless. That means thorium in its lower oxidation state shows color, but in higher oxidation state, it is colorless. Protactinium in lower oxidation state shows a dark blue color, but in higher oxidation state, it is again colorless. Uranium shows a pink color and a green color, that is in lower oxidation state and in higher oxidation state. So just only difference of one electron in uranium plus 3 and uranium plus 4. That means here loss of 3 electrons and here loss of 4 electrons. Just loss of 3 electrons, it gives pink color, while loss of 4 electrons, it gives a drastically different color, that is a green color. Again, neptunium plus 3 and plus 4, they are having different colors because of loss of either 3 or 4 electrons. Here, plutonium also shows 2 different colors in its lower and higher oxidation states. Same is true for americium. Here, for curium, curium shows again very faint ivory color, or what we call faint color, which is attributed to curium plus 4. Berkelium also shows a similar type of color that of curium plus 4. But Californium shows similar type of colors in its lower and higher oxidation states. Now, if we move, if the oxides are formed by actinide elements, then the oxide of protactinium, it is in plus 5 oxidation state, it is colorless. But uranyl oxide in its plus 5 oxidation state, which is having a very faint pink color. Neptunium oxide, which is again shows a green color. So if we consider this neptunium plus 3, plus 4, plus 5, plus 6 and plus 7, this is the single element, but in different oxidation state, it shows different colors. So again, I would like to mention here the property of color that is exhibited by these elements strictly depends upon the total number of electrons which are present. So the total number of unpaired electrons which are present in the particular atom or ion, that matters, or that is responsible to have a color for the particular ion. Again, for plutonium from plus 3 to plus 7, it shows all these oxidation state except plus 2. So plutonium also displays these different colors which are shown here. Same is true for americium also, which shows these different colors. So here it is seen that maximum colored ions, those are from the common or principal oxidation state, that is the plus 3. Rest all other elements, they are having certain oxidation state, either which are falling in +4, 5 or +6 or +7 oxidation states. They are having very limited colors. So the +3 oxidation state, which is shown by these elements, that is only +3. Now here, if we see a representative example of all these colors, then see this slide. Here, these are the 4 different colors which are exhibited by uranium. This is a faint yellow color of uranyl nitrate. This is a uranyl tetrachloride UCl4. This is uranium hexafluoride UF6, and this is U3O8, that is uranyl oxide. Here, if uranium, the same actinide element, either with nitrate, with fluoride, with chloride, or with oxide, they show different colors. So this property of color, that is also associated with the non-metallic element that is associated with a particular metal. So with uranium, which is constant in all these 4 cases, here the color differs from uranium, nitrate, chloride, fluoride, and U3O8 is known as a yellow cake, that is uranyl oxide also. Certain different colors which are also shown by these elements, which is shown here. If the aqueous solution prepared out of these uranyl salts, that is uranium in +3, +4, +5 and +6, here they show different colors. For uranium +3, which is shown here, it is a dark black in color. Here, uranium +4 aqueous solution, it is somewhat green in color. Uranium 5, which is colorless, and uranium 6 is somewhat faint pink in color. Similarly, if we look at the aqueous solution of plutonium, which is having +3, +4, +5, +6 and +7 oxidation states, then this plutonium, the plutonium salts in the aqueous solution, they also show different colors. Here, if we look at the lowest oxidation state of plutonium +3 and the highest oxidation state of plutonium, then it shows different colors ranging from faint violet, and it ends with dark green color for the higher oxidation state of plutonium. Now, if we look at another salt of neptunium having atom number 93 for +3, +4, +5, +6 and +7, again it is black in color. This is somewhat brownish pink in color, faint green in color, yellowish green in color, and this is dark purple in color. So the point that I would like to mention here, that these elements in different oxidation state, they exhibit different colors either in solid state or in aqueous solution. Based on the electronic confusion, oxidation states and the color properties, I would like to mention some of the important properties of all these elements. These actinide elements, the first element has no any significant commercial application. That means it is not having any application, although it is used in the production of neutrons. So whenever neutrons are required for as a projectiles in certain nuclear reactions, then and then actinium that plays a vital role. Next element is a thorium, the application of which is it is used to coat tungsten filaments which are used in electronic devices such as television sets. The TV sets which illuminate bright light, when the TV set is on, the bright light that is attributed only because of tungsten, and the life of this tungsten filament is kept forever, it is only because of thorium. So thorium coated tungsten filament lasts long. So next element is a protactinium, atom number 91. There are currently no uses for protactinium outside the basic scientific research. That means protactinium may be used as for the research purposes. Uranium, which is very important element worldwide, because the nuclear power plants which generate electricity, except India, because in India very lesser electricity that is generated by using uranium bombardment method, but all other countries except India, they use this uranium as a commonly used nuclear power in industry to generate electricity. If you look at the next slide, here plutonium, then neptunium, plutonium, americium, and curium. Here, neptunium is used for the neutron detectors. How to detect the neutrons? In order to detect the neutrons, this neptunium plays a very important role. Plutonium is used as a fuel in nuclear power plants. So sometimes this plutonium is also used as a fuel in nuclear power plants, but majority of the power plants they utilize uranium-238-92 nucleus. Americium, this is a very important use of americium. Perhaps you might have seen in big buildings or in the lodge, where at the ceiling that is having a small unit which is very sensitive to the fumes of smoke. Whenever there is a sudden burning due to electrical miscontacts, this americium element easily sensitive for these fumes or smoke which is arise due to some accident, and it gives signals to the head office where the lodges are built. So this americium that is used as a smoke detectors. Then the curium, it is primarily used for the basic scientific research purposes. So these are the few uses of these elements as a actinide elements. So if we look again back for these actinide elements, I would like to conclude here that only 3 minutes are left. So during our study of F block elements, we have seen the lanthanide elements, 15 members are there from atom number 57 to lutetium atom number 71, where we have seen the electronic configuration, the oxidation states, the different oxidation states exhibited by these elements, the colors. Then we have arrived at the actinide elements, where we have seen again a comparative similar properties as those were exhibited by lanthanides. So we have seen the electronic configuration, the drastic features of this electronic configuration, then the oxidation states based on the electronic configuration and the oxidation states. We have seen the different colors which are exhibited by these elements. So the drastic feature of actinide elements that yesterday we have seen and today we have also revised, that all the 15 members they do not occur in nature. Only first 4 members they occur naturally. Rest all other elements they are to be synthesized naturally. That is known as the man-made elements or SHE elements or TU elements. So this is in brief. We have seen all these characteristic properties for the lanthanides and the actinides. Now only 1 minute and 30 seconds are left. If you want to ask, I'm going to unmute all you. If you want to ask, I have opened your mics. कुणाला काय विचार असेल तर विचारू शकता तुम्ही. तर उद्यापासून कोराडे सर किंवा पाटील सर वगैरे घेतील किंवा केनाडे सर घेतील. तुम्हाला काही शंका असेल तर तुम्ही जरूर मेसेज करा. स्टडी करत चला. टाइम टेबल तयार करायची प्रोसेस चालू आहे विद्यापीठाच्या वतीनं आणि ते टाइम टेबल तयार झाल्यानंतर तुम्हाला ग्रुपवर पाठवण्यात येईल. काय असेल तर शंका विचारा तुम्ही. And I would like to conclude. Stay home,